This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 680 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's tip is brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products, Summer Games, and Summer Games Plus Electrolytes. Greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip is from the Dressage Radio Show, episode 163. Reese and Philip answer a listener question about auditing and attending clinics with a young horse. What's appropriate and what's not? But first, let's hear from our sponsor, Kentucky Performance Products, maker of Summer Games and Summer Games Plus Electrolytes. How is Summer Games different from other electrolyte products? Summer Games Plus contains the same electrolyte formulation as Summer Games Electrolyte, which was originally formulated for the horses competing at the 1996 Olympics. The formulation was based on the results of research conducted in anticipation of the Games, which were held in Atlanta, Georgia, known for its hot, humid summers. Summer Games mimics the composition of equine sweat, supplying the horse with the exact amounts and ratios of electrolytes relinquished in sweat. Summer Games Plus contains no sugar, like many popular commercial electrolyte supplements. Summer Games Plus also contains a buffering agent that helps create a soothing gastric environment. This is especially important for horses subjected to the stresses often related to top performance, such as exertion, transportation, and unfamiliar stabling atmospheres. Ask for Summer Games and Summer Games Plus electrolytes at your local tack and feed supplier, or visit kppusa.com. Now, on with today's tip.
Okay, Reese. Well, this week we have an email from one of our listeners, which is great. The listener, Kendall, wrote, "Hi, great show. I was hoping that during a show you might expand on clinic auditing protocol. For example, is it acceptable to video record? I have a young horse not ready for most clinics, but I would like to bring her to other barns to see new sites. Is it acceptable to rent a stall at the clinic barn for the day and use the arena after the clinic is through? I would find the discussion of what to expect as an auditor really interesting, and maybe it will promote interest and participation. Thank you." What do you think, Reese?
Well, first of all, Kendall, thank you so much for writing in. We love these kind of questions, and when we get them and we like them, we will put them on the show. So keep sending them in. But Philip, I think this is a great question. I think this is a question that a lot of us have. And I also have some young horses, and I always look for an opportunity to get them off the farm and have a little adventure. So I emailed Kendall back just to kind of talk to her a little bit about it. But what I said was I certainly think it's great to take a young horse anywhere, but I would always ask the clinic organizer. And I'm sure if they have the stalls and the room to have you, I'm sure they would let you. We have clinics here at my farm. Usually, clinic weeks are the busiest weeks that we have. So sometimes I don't have stalls. So I just very kindly tell the person, I don't have a stall, but if you want to do it another day, I would love to have you. So I think it just depends on if you should just ask the clinic organizer and see, and always be gracious. If they don't have room, they'll be nice and tell you. But I think, again, I'm a big fan of taking young ones out on field trips. So great question. Philip, what would you say?
I think it's good. I mean, first of all, it is acceptable to video record. I think I like to record all my clinics, review them, so definitely bring a video camera. It's an even... it helps you get extra out of the clinic, so that's a perfect thing to do. And the other thing is, if one of my students asked me this, I would tell them maybe just go in the clinic, I don't think clinics are about, showing off your best stuff. Maybe if you go to a barn and there's somebody in the middle helping you, you'll have an even better experience. I think, clinicians want to see all levels of horses and help people, and maybe just an experience in a new location, you can get a lot of help with that. So otherwise, I think everybody who hosts clinics has a different take on, what they want, how many stalls they have, what they're going to allow for different people coming in. And then the other thing is maybe you can just take your horse to a barn of a local trainer. Doesn't have to be a regular trainer, but just, again, to get it out, ride it around in a new arena, have a bit of a lesson, maybe, experience something different. Because what I do is, I know a lot of barn owners and stuff. Sometimes I just give them a call and say, I'd like to bring a horse by for the day. Would you have a problem with that? I sometimes have to pay an arena fee, which is pretty normal at different places, but I'm happy to do that. It's pretty inexpensive way to get off the property and have something to do. So.
Oh, I think that's a great idea. And I think your point was well taken that, clinics are for learning. I think a lot of people say, how could I possibly ride with that person? But you're absolutely right. You're going to a clinic to have a lesson and to get better. You're not showing.
I try and tell people the best lessons is when it goes wrong, not when everything is perfect. A clinician
exactly.
stand there and say, oh, that's good, that's good. They're there to help you. They're going to, maybe push you beyond your expertise a little bit, push you beyond, what you've been doing at home, and just, learning and getting help. So I think that's a great way to do that.
Oh, I agree. No, I think that's a great way. Great question from Kendall. And again, I hope we get more questions.
Well, there you go. Reese and Phillip had some great advice. If you enjoyed their conversation, and who wouldn't, you can tune into the Dressage Radio Show every week at dressageradio.com. You can also find lots more tips on becoming a better rider at horsetipdaily.com. Just go to the topics drop-down menu on the left. And don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily because they make these podcasts possible. Kentucky Performance Products, Summer Games, and Summer Games Plus Electrolytes. Ask for them by name at your local tack and feed supplier, or you can go to kppusa.com. Please stop by the Horse Tip Daily Facebook page and let us know what you think of the tips you hear on the show. It's also a great place to tell us about topics you'd like to hear us cover on the show. You can subscribe to all the great shows on the Horse Radio Network through iTunes or Zune and get your horse podcasts automatically downloaded to your iPod, Zune, or MP3 player. You can also listen to the shows right on Facebook. The player's right there every day. I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, go ride your horse! The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.